want to. That's better. Apologies to everybody. Yeah, weird as well. I'm getting people texting me whilst I'm on the live stream. I already told people I'm on the live stream. Now, I want to apologize to people out there. I don't know what happened there just a minute ago. It seems like I had two different softwares run at the same time. So apologies again. So I'm just gonna wait for some more people to come in, and I can only apologize again with this live streaming, trying to make sure that everything is up and running. It's sometimes really difficult. Probably be easier if I done it off my phone, or maybe off a laptop. Right, can anybody out there hear me? Can you hear me? According to what I can see, I'm on live. I'm just waiting for people to come in. I had to log out and come back in again. All the problems with streaming. I'm quite new to this. Is there anybody out there? Can you hear me? Alright, let's play some music again. From what I can see, I'm on live. Let me just click on that. Access because one watching. I've got one person watching. Right, today this live stream is entitled "Are You Prepared for a Possible Emergency?" What does the American F.E.M.A say about prepping? What do they have to say about prepping? this thing shut off. Again, I don't know what's happening here. No. 1, 2. Can anybody out there hear me? I'm having a lot of problems tonight with the stream. I don't know what's really going on. Anyway, I want to just kick off with things right now. I don't know if you can see me, if you got any visuals, but anyway, I need to get going. Right, who can I see? Mario Carretera. Okay, you are on. Okay. Anderson, hi. Maria Carretera. Yes. Hello. Maria Carretera. Carretero Jr. Who else can I see? Evan Morley. Hello, Evan. Sophia from Canada. Hi. Yes. So, Mario, you're from Texas. Yes. I'd love to come to Texas sometime. I got family out there. Yeah, just moved out there from Miami. Miami's nice. Right, so Sophia, you're from Canada. Before I start, I just want to ask you all this question. Have you started prepping yet for possible emergencies? If you have, please hit Y on your keyboard for yes, or on your keypad. Have you ever started putting away food for possible emergencies? Because let me tell you, there's a lot of things coming up this year. Trust what I'm telling you. I've made quite a few predictions. If you go back and look at my videos on 2024 and my predictions so far, 3 have come through. 3 have come through. Yeah? First, Japan. An earthquake there. Go look at my video. I predicted that and it has happened. There's going to be about another 8 earthquakes, major ones, this year. And it's going to hit Britain as well. Down in that west coast. Trust what I'm telling you. A lot of things I've predicted in the past have come through. It has come through. Right, Mario, so you put some stuff away for prepping, yeah? And who else? I can't see anybody else. Right. So, listen. There's going to be the possibility of a 3rd World War this year. The American government have been talking about it, and so has the British government been talking about the possibility of a 3rd World War. So, shouldn't you be prepping in case this happens? Look at what's going on in France, Belgium, India, Ireland, Germany. Yeah? Farmers in these countries have been protesting against the government. Why? Because of this globalization thing that's going on. Okay? The WEF, that's the World Economic Forum, they have these sustainable goals, and they want farmers to meet these. Okay? So there's a lot of farmers who have been protesting. They need certain machinery and chemicals in order to put on their fields. They're saying, this is WEF, that there's too much methane being given off in the atmosphere. This is part of the problem with global warming. So if there's a food shortage because farmers can't farm, or they refuse to farm, shouldn't you then be preparing for possible food shortages? Look at what's going on in Germany over the last couple of weeks. Go look at what's going on there. Go and look at what's going on in Belgium, because they're not telling us about these things on regular news stations. So there could be a possible food crisis. Look at what's going on in the Middle East between those two countries there. And they're talking about there could be a food shortage because ships are having to go the long way around Africa in order to pick up food and to ship food. Right, Maria, yes, you've been preparing. Tell me, Maria, what kinds of things have you been putting away? Please. You don't have to tell me everything, just one or two things. Let me kick on. Do you know this year there's going to be some massive solar flares? Look out for April the 8th. There's going to be a lot of sun flares. And so, what could possibly happen there? Satellites been knocked out. Pylons been knocked out. Computers been knocked out. And we rely so much on computers. We depend so much on these things. Right? So what about the possibility that you could lose your job? Because a lot of people are losing their jobs around the globe at the moment. So wouldn't it be a good idea to put away certain resources in case of things like this? If you're unemployed for 6 months and you got food stored, then at least you may have something to tide you over until then, right? Okay, Maria. Canned foods, that's really good. And first aid kit, that's really good as well. Wow. You're preparing, man. You're preparing. I'm trying to form a community here. Okay? I don't want to be one of these people just rambling on. I want you to also participate in this live stream. Okay? And share ideas with each other. Okay? Right. I want to say about something. There's an organization. Where is that info? Right, there's a organization in America. They're called the Federal Emergency Management Agency. Right? This is an agency of the United States Department of Homeland Security, initially created under President Jimmy Carter. By President Jimmy Carter and by the Presidential Reorganization Plan number 3 of 1978 and implemented by 2 executives orders on April the 1st, 1979. Right? And so they have said that we need to put away certain items on top of the ones that we've already got. And I'm going to go into that in a minute. Okay? So on top of the things that you're already using to prep, you also should be putting away 10 extra items according to F.E.M.A. That's a F.E.M.A. Okay? The Federal Emergency Management Agency. I'll quickly go back to this thing about the sun flare, because it's going to be very important and I want you to prepare for this. Trust. Right. The next major solar flare is in April of 2020, where I went into Bing, okay, with a chat box, and I asked Bing certain questions, and apparently this coming April there's going to be a massive solar flare. Okay? Are you hearing me? There's going to be a massive solar flare. And what does that mean? That certain grids could be knocked out. The satellites could be knocked out. And also computers. It says here, these solar flares are part of the ongoing solar cycle 25. Additionally, mark your calendar for April the 8th. Do you hear me? It says, mark your calendar for April the 8th, 2024, when a total solar eclipse will provide a rare opportunity to witness it. The sun's magnificent corona. During the eclipse, keep an eye out for prominences. Large, I think it says here, areas of plasma above the sun's surface. So you need to prepare yourself. Sometimes we've had solar flares and they've knocked out grids. They've knocked out satellites. If these things are knocked out, you ain't going to be able to get any money out of the bank. Do you realize this? You need to prepare. Even if it doesn't happen you still need to prepare. Right. On top of this, it says here, the sun's magnetic field changes polarity roughly every 11 years as part of this solar cycle. This reversal occurs at the peak of each solar cycle, marking the transition from solar maximum high activity to solar minimum low activity. So the sun reverses every 11 years. Expect massive solar flares this year. Not only just in April, that's just a start. There's also going to be planets lining up on April the 8th. Morning planets Venus, Mars, and Saturn will grace the southeastern sky before sunrise. Venus, in particular, shines as a brilliant star during morning twilight, rising 104 minutes before the sun. Expect there to be massive solar flares this year. And it's not just April, it's August, September, and some of these other months. Right, let me go back to the chat. Maria Correttier Jr., yes, you're preparing, that's good. Great live. Yeah, thank you, Marivia. Penelope, I agree with you. Okay, thank you. Have a mind in trade. Yes, Mario, that's correct. You have to have a mind in trade. Yeah? And you got to think about things like exchanging goods. Yeah? With other people. Because you're not going to have everything. You need to have an economic mind. You need to have a trading mind. Yes, I like that, Mario. I really like that. Right, so F.E.M.A. What is their point? I'm going to come back on this because there's something I want to look at, and that is the crux of this live stream. I want to know, what things are you preparing? Stay with me, people. As I said, I don't just want to be one of these people who just sits there and chat all night. I want you guys to join in this conversation. I'm trying to form a community here. Okay? Also, listen, if you want to donate to my channel, it would be really helpful because I need to get new equipment. As you see with this live stream, I've been having a few problems, and this is due also to the equipment that I have. I need to get more updated equipment. Thank you, Jamie. Is it Jamie? Am I pronouncing the name correctly? Listen, guys, if you want to donate to my channel, if you go to the bottom of the page, you'll see some links, okay, to PayPal, and also buy me a cup of tea. Sorry, buy me a cup of coffee, but you can buy me tea if you want. Anyway, what kinds of things should you really be putting away? And I'm not just talking about food, but let's go through food first. Tell me, before I go into this, what types of food do you think you should be putting away? Yes, you have fingers. Type on your keyboard and tell me what types of food you think you should be putting away. I'll give you a minute. What kinds of food do you think you should be putting away? I'm waiting. I'm going to count my fingers. I'll just wait for people to come in. Let me move on then. Right, types of food you should be putting away right now is tin foods, as noted by Mario earlier. Why tin foods? Because tin foods have a longer shelf life than perishable goods. Perishable goods are things like dairy products, things like milk, things like ice cream. Them sort of things, they go off very quickly. Yes, some vegetables you can put away, but to say the truth, think about it. If you were to store your vegetables in your fridge, and your fridge lost power, you would lose a lot of your vegetables. Same with meat as well. Think about it. If you went out and bought a load of chicken, a lot of beef, pork, and all of these things, and put them in a refrigerator, you need to be mindful that if you have a power cut, these things may go off. Yes, water. Hi, water. Milk. Yes. But what kind of milk though? Juices, Mario says. Water, most definitely. You need to have water. What else? Mario says vegetables, yes. But as I just said, you need to be mindful though that if you have a power cut, all that might go off. Anyway, these are some of the things in terms of food you should be storing away. Right, so tin foods and dry foods, things like corned beef, tin soups, tin fish such as sardines, pilchards, tuna fish, tinned ham, tinned steak, tinned potatoes, tinned peas, tinned carrots, tinned Irish stew. I love Irish stew. Nice stuff. Tinned milk. such as Nestle's milk. You can buy that in tinned Coronation milk, tinned custard, tinned fruits such as peaches, apricots, tangerines, also tinned rice pudding, tinned carrots, olives. You can get olives in a jar. You can also get them in packages. Okay? Also things like pickled gherkins. Right, got some other comments there. Juices. Yes, that's a good idea. Water, I said before. I can't read. Cow's milk. Mask. Yes, you need to have mask. We're going to come on to that because it's funny. This organization in America, that's one of the things that they say we need to have. So, Mario, you're very much on things. Right. Dried packaged foods, cornflakes, muesli, oats, Weetabix, Cocoa Pops, Shreddies, Rice Krispies. What else? Shreddies, rice. Man, I've really stocked up on rice because this good. It can last for a very long time. So, if you like rice, this is a really good thing to store. Okay? And listen, don't start the suddenly panic buying. You need to put things away from now. Okay? Bit by bit. Every time you go shopping, just take something off the shelf and put it in your basket. You don't need to go out and panic buy. Pounded Carnation milk. Carnation milk. I've never heard of that. But yeah. Mario, thanks for sharing your ideas, man. That's good. Okay. Rice. Yes, very much so. Renesa. Thank you, Renesa. Fill that pantry. Yes, you need to. You need to. Because, as I said, there's some madness going on this year. Solar flares in April. Also predicted in August and September. Yeah. There's some other things going on as well. Asteroids. I'm not going to panic people out right now. Listen, go back and look at my videos and my predictions. I have to be very careful what I say on here right now, or else I could get banned. Let's go back to the list. Rice, pulses, including beans and lentils. Those kinds of things. Self-raising flour. This is a big one. Self-raising flour. Also, strong flour for baking bread. You'll also need yeast and baking powder if you want to bake bread. But I've heard some people just use self-raising flour and bake flatbreads. But if you want to bulk out the bread, you need to have baking powder and yeast. Now, there's so many things you can make with flour, including pasta, dried Mashed potato. That's really good as well to put away. Dried pasta in pockets. Yeah. Corn flakes. Porridge. Dried prunes and dried apricots. Jelly in packets. Dried milk. Let me show you something. Let me show you something. See if I can catch this. Right here, I've got Coffee Mate, and that's really good stuff. This lasts about 3 weeks. Coffee Mate is very, very good. And some things I've been putting away. Butter beans. See? Butter beans. That's really good as well. Things such as colonelli beans. Okay? Colonelli beans. And tin tuna. Tin tuna. Alright? Good for protein. You need your protein. Right, toilet paper. Woo! That's it. Yeah, I was going to come on to that. Yeah, toilet paper. Ah, that's true. You know, in the UK, in 2020, when we had the BAP, everyone know what I'm talking about? The juice, the BAP. Okay, in 2020, one of the things that people went out and started panic buying was toilet paper. There's some people, they swiped everything off the shelf and left nothing for nobody. Instead of saying, oh, let me just take 20 or something, took the whole lot and left none for anybody else. Oh man, I got to laugh, man. You know what? Back in the day, when I was a kid, no shame in this. There's no shame in my game, right? When toilet paper ran out, you know what we used to do? Used newspaper. Yes, newspaper. No shame in my game. If you gotta do, you gotta do. Yeah? If you run out of toilet paper, tell me, what else would you use? Grass? A stone? I don't know. But you need to think of alternatives. Yes, it's a good idea to make sure your toilet paper. Let me move on. Other things. Right? Dried milk, sugar, coffee and tea, salt and sugar. There's a lot of people forget about salt and sugar. And most things contain salt and sugar. So you need to have salt and sugar. Make sure you stock up on those things. Biscuits, peanuts, and even things like saltfish. Is there anyone out there that likes saltfish? Yeah? Or was it salted cod? That's all saltfish is. What else? What else? If there's an emergency, should you be preparing? Think about heat. If you've got no heating or no light, and that could happen, That could happen quite easily overnight. What would you do? You got no heat, and you've got no light. What are you going to do? Answer me in the chat room. What are you going to do? All of a sudden, we have a power cut, and you've got no electricity. You've got no gas. You've got no way of keeping yourself warm because you've got no fire. What are you going to do? A pit. Okay, and what would you do in the pit? Now listen, these are the things you need to be saving. Candles, a torch or a lamp, flint lighters. Yeah, you can use flint lighters, or you can use matches in order to light your candles, because you're not going to be able to use your cooker to be able to light your candles. And these things you should have very close to you, because when it's dark, you don't want to be stumbling around trying to find candles. You don't want to stumble around trying to find a lamp. These things should be close to you. Or at least, what you could do is take candles and put them in each of your rooms. Okay? So that you don't have to be stumbling around trying to find them, because you know where they are. And as I say, flint, lighter and matches. Another thing, a camp stove and gas bottles. If you've got a camp stove and gas bottles, you need about 2 or 3 bottles. Okay? Because with a camp stove, you can cook on this and you can heat water. Correct? Cut wood. Yes, Mario. True. Dig the ground. Cut wood. Yes. That's good. What else, people? You could use your barbecue to cook things on. Obviously, you're not going to do this indoors. You're going to catch your house on fire. But make sure you've got gas bottles already full. The same with camping stoves. Make sure the bottles are full. Okay? You also need things like a whistle. Why? Why would you need a whistle? Please tell me. Why would you need a whistle? Or a foghorn? A foghorn. Well, listen. If you're outside, or you've got to go outside for some reason, you're going to need to have a whistle with you, so that you can whistle and call for emergency services. Or if somebody hears you whistle, they can come and at least try and find you. So it's very important to have a whistle or a foghorn. This is very important. You can get these off of Amazon. Okay? It's very important to have these. What if someone's trying to break into your house and you had a foghorn or a whistle? This may deter people from coming in to your house. What other things? You need to have things like wet wipes. Wet wipes. That's important because if you don't have running water, you may need to use wet wipes to wipe yourself down with. Okay? And hygiene wipes. In case you may have to go outside, you need to have things like compasses. You need to have things like a mirror, because a mirror has several things you can use them for signals, and also to help to light paper and things like magnifying glass. So you need to have these things. What else? Let's think about clothes. Let's think about clothes. Yes, Mario. Flares. That's good. How to make oxygen. How to make oxygen with water. Yeah, that's a good idea. How would you make oxygen with water? Water contains oxygen, but how would you make oxygen with water? Does anyone know? Maybe you could elaborate on this, Mario. Right, so what else? Clothes. You need to have sleeping bags. That is very important. You can use sleeping bags also as blankets. You need to have thermal tops and bottoms, thermal socks, thermal house coat, thermal curtains or thick drapes to keep in the warmth. Wear layers of clothes so that if it gets too warm, you can take the layers off and so forth and put them back on when you're cold. You need fleece jumpers or fleece, or should I say thermal jumpers, wet-proof tops and bottoms for outdoor use, because you may have to go outdoors to look for things, or if there's an emergency and you need to get to a shelter. It's very important that you have things like wet-proof tops and bottoms, Wellington boots or hiking boots for rough terrain. Make sure you got gloves, woolly hats or thermal hats, things like umbrellas. Let me go back here. You can Google it. Okay? You can Google it. So you're talking about turning water into oxygen. You can find it on Google. Is this what you're saying? Yes, I know how to make oxygen. Please share. Please share. Aurora. if you could please share, because this is awareness community in here. It's an awareness community. It's important to prep. It's important to share with other people. You never know when you may need help. Okay? All of this information that I'm sharing with you is going to be critical. I'm telling you, it's going to be very critical. Have you not heard that in America they think there could be a third world war? Look at England. They're saying the same thing. They're even thinking of getting, I can't remember the thing they used to have years ago where young people had to conscribe, something like that. Because in the UK, apparently, we're quite low on military, especially soldiers. There's a lot of things happening this year, and you need to be in preparation for this. Seriously. Let's move on. Right. Toiletries. As Mario mentioned a minute ago, Mario, you put a smile on my face because I can remember some things when I was younger to do with toilet paper. Yeah? And we used to store up newspapers, yeah, magazines, just in case the toilet paper ran out. Yeah. Anyway, you need to store up on toilet paper and newspapers. You need hand wipes. Things that people don't think about. Things like painkillers. Because if you got a headache or a toothache, you need to have painkillers. You could sprain your leg. There could be a number of reasons why you need to have painkillers. So you need to stock up on these. Imagine you get caught short and you've got no form of painkillers, but you're in a lot of pain. What are you going to do? Also, you need toothbrushes, Vaseline. Okay? Vaseline is good for things like burns and cuts. You also need Sudocrem. Sudocrem is really good for cuts and burns. Bonjela for your gums. So if you got a toothache, you can rub Bonjela on your gums. It's good to probably have some alcohol as well, because that can be used in emergencies. It's good for things like toothache, amongst a lot of other things. You need to have deodorant. You need to have large containers for water. And what if you don't have no tap water? You may need to catch rainwater. You may need to get sterility tablets for this. Okay? So make sure you got large containers for water. Now moving on to something that is quite critical here. Tools. You need to have certain tools in your house and certain tools to keep in your car in case you need to move off very quickly. Okay? There may be times you can't stay in your house. So you may need to keep these things in your car. Camping knife. Hunting knife. Rope. Scissors. Nail clips. You might need to have CCTV around your house. And I'm talking about on your front part of your house, the side of your house, and the back of your house. If a lot of people, they know that you have certain things in your house, what do you think is going to happen? If there's a food shortage, think about it. If everyone knows you've got a lot of food and a lot of equipment in your house, what do you think might happen? Please tell me, what do you think might happen? It's not a good idea to keep all of your goods in one place. If you can, if you've got a warehouse somewhere, you can store certain things away, like food there, and certain bits of equipment, then do this. Yes, you need weapons to protect. I was going to come on to that. As I say, Mario, you seem very prepared, man, and that's good. That's good. And some of you others out there as well in this stream, yes, you got some good ideas. Now what else? As I say, you need to have CCTV around your house, at the front of your house, on the side, and at the back. Because if people know that you've got certain things, like food, they're going to try to come and take that off you. Trust what I'm telling you. They will try and come and take that off you. So be sensible and not store everything in one place. There's people I know, they've got big barrels, containers, and they've gone out into woods and buried their stuff out there. There's some soldiers that I know personally have done things like this. And as Mary was saying about protection, you might have to have certain things around your house to protect yourself and your family. Other things you may need are things such as torch light, a very powerful torch. Okay, let me show you a torch which I have here. It's not just the only one, but this one is good for emergencies. Say there's no communication, right? Meaning you couldn't use your mobile phone, you couldn't use your computer. I have this emergency radio, Okay, and it's got batteries in there, but I can also use by USB, and I can wind this thing. Hear it winding? And charge any USB, anything that's working by USB, even my phone. Okay, and it's got a camera on there. It's also got a light on it as well. This, I think I paid roughly £30. Not more than 40 anyway, English pounds for this. And it's got so many good things on there. Another thing you need to have, trust what I'm telling you, is a torch. Now this torch here has 3 different settings on it. 3 different settings. Okay, that's the first one. I don't know if you can see that. Try to get this in focus. Okay, so that's the first setting. I can see up to 200 meters with this torch. 200 meters. Okay, that's a powerful torch. It's only small. It's small. Look at it. But it's very powerful. It's got a lot of lux. Very good. Another one. Another setting, sorry. And you got this first setting. Okay? Got this first setting. So it's flashing. Second setting. You can see a little bit further, more, how would I say? It's just got a wider setting on the second setting. And then the first setting, it's got an intermittent light. Now I didn't pay that much for that. You need to have these things. You see as well, a good thing with the torch. Say if somebody was going to attack you. If you put that torch light in their eyes, just for a second, it's going to stun them. And you can make a move and run away. If that's what you decide to do. You can use a torch for Morse code as well. Yeah, you can study Morse code. That's right, Mario. Right. What else? Get a whistle. Especially women. I'm not trying to be sexist, but you need to make sure that you've got a whistle on you. It's very important, because as someone hears the whistle and you're in an emergency or in a dangerous situation, at least you can get away. Okay? Sorry, get away. You could get attention is what I meant. You could get attention. What else? A CB radio. That's a really good form of communication again. Very good. Other things you need to learn. Things like self-defense. I've got a few people that I know personally that are coming on this channel soon. We'll be talking about things like martial arts and self-defense. You need to learn some basic self-defense is very important. Learn to box or do a bit of kung fu or judo or kickboxing. You need to stay fit. You need to stay ready. Even doing things like swimming, just try and stay proactive. It's important. If you can't run at least 200 meters to get away from people, you need to have a reasonable amount of fitness. Do you agree? If you agree, please hit yes on your keyboard. Please hit yes on your keyboard if you agree. Or just type the letter Y. Self-defense is very important. So we've learned that it's important to collect non-perishable goods, tin foods, dried foods, collecting water in large containers. If you don't have access to your tap water, you can use rainwater. Rainwater you can drink, but I would purify it if I was you. You can buy tablets on many sites, including Amazon. So get water purifier tablets. Yes, Maria. Antoinette, yes, I know. Study your Morse code. Weapons to protect. Okay, all good. Yes, Maria. Right. I want to move on to what? Where are they now? Stay with me a minute. Paper. See, I didn't intend for this stream to be so long. I'm trying to find. The 10 goods, the 10 items that you're supposed to put aside. Can you just give me just a minute and I'll be back just a second. Yes, one piece of paper got away from me. Right, F.E.M.A. They said there should be 10 items you should put away for emergencies. This is on top of things you may already have. F.E.M.A. stands for Federal Emergency Management Agency. Okay, so this was formed under President Jimmy Carter in 1978. See, even the American government have told people to make sure they have certain things in their house. Right, number one, headlamp and flashlight. Right, you might lose your electricity and also need to go outdoors. So these are essential to navigate around at night. Number two, a whistle. You never know when you may be stranded or in a survival situation. You may need assistance if you've been attacked. You may need to get the attention of the police or search and rescue team. Number three, a dust mask, just in case of air contamination. I think Mario, you mentioned that earlier about a dust mask. Number four is maps, physical maps you can hold and touch, not digital. There's different types of maps, e.g. for prepping or for roads. So if you're prepping in the wall, you got different map to ones you'd have as a road map. Also, you got to think, if your satellites go down, you wouldn't be able to use your satellite dish in your car or whatever. Number five, can openers. Alright, so you can have the old style camper. You can have the old style can openers or the more modern ones. Number six, you need to have games. This is F.E.M.A. They say you should have games for your children and for adults. Things such as chess or card games, Ludo, crosswords, snakes and ladders. Because in a stressful situation, you might need to keep yourself and your family calm. So it's a good idea to have these board games. Number seven, a medical emergency kit or safety kit in case of injuries. Number eight, supplies for your pets. If you have pets, if you can't make it to a store, you need to have these supplies and medication for your pets. Number nine, wrench or pliers. I would add also screwdrivers and hammers. You never know when you may need these. It may be you got a broken window, or maybe a shed, or it could be a broken door. So you might need these tools in emergency situations. And think about mending your car also. You'll need tools for this. And number 10 is communication. Having an emergency radio, solar or crank powered. So like the one I just showed you, that is crank powered, and it also has an emergency radio on it. So, if you're in the wilderness, or even if you're in your home, it's a good way of keeping updated with communication. Things such as the weather or any possible emergency. So that's F.E.M.A. Let's see. Any more comments in the chat? Mario, yes. Fish pole. Also get fish from the lake, river, oceans. Yeah, I forgot to mention that as well. It's important to have things like fishing rods, or you can just make your own up so you can catch fish from the river or sea or whatever. So that's good. Right, let me ask you this. What top 20 foods do you think run short quickest in emergencies? Which top 20 foods do you think sell out first on the shelves in emergencies? Let me ask you. Can you tell me? Come on, just give it a go. What top 20 foods do you think come off the shelf the quickest? Yeah? Any ideas? Right. Number 1. Seeds. I'm telling you this because if there is an emergency situation, these are the things that a lot of people are going to try and grab, because these, according to this survey, the Finance Daily, it says these foods are the foods most likely to go off the shelves the quickest in emergencies. Right, seed, including vegetable seeds like mung seeds, alfalfa seeds, seeds you can grow indoor or outdoors, used for either sprouting or gardening. Number 2, chicken, turkey, beef. These are tin foods. They go off the shelf very quickly. Number 3, cereals and granola bars. Lightweight and packed. Easy to store in large quantities. Number 4, boxes of cereals. They'll go off the shelf very quickly. Powdered milk. Also, cooking oil. That will go off the shelf very quickly. Number 6, salt. Because it's good for things like preserving and procuring meat. So that will go off the shelf really quickly. Dried fruits. And I mentioned dried fruits earlier. Things like figs. Bottled water. And that's only number 8. I thought it'd be lower. It'd be lower down in the rankings. Right, powdered milk. Right, baking powder is number 9. Powdered milk is number 10. Number 11, nuts. Number 12, pasta. Pasta will go off the shelves quite quickly. It has quite a long shelf life as well. Number 14, quinoa. I don't know what that is, but apparently it's high in protein and fiber. Number 15, dried legumes are things like peas, beans, and lentils. Number 16, honey. That is likely to go off the shelf very quickly. It has good antibacterial properties, and it's good for things like sore throats and wounds. Number 17, rice. And I talked about rice earlier. It's good to store up on that. Number 18, hydrated meals. And number 19, stew and soups. These things are likely to go off the shelf very quickly. And number 20, coffee and tea. So all of these things that I just mentioned are likely to go off the shelf very quickly. So people, you need to prepare. Don't take anything for granted. There are so many things besides food you need to think about putting away for emergencies. Are you with me? If you are, and you understand what I'm saying, please type yes on your keyboard. Please type yes. This year is going to be one really tough year. It's going to be a strain for a lot of people. We're likely to have food shortages, energy shortages. As I said, in April, we're having a lot of solar flares. So people, what does that mean? It means a strong possibility of having no computers, no electricity, no water. Many of our supplies that we have come by computer now. If the computer were to go down, what would you do for gas, electricity, water, and all those things? Never take things for granted. Even F.E.M.A have told people they should have 10 items put away, and that is the American government, the American state. If they're telling you, and they've been telling you this since 1978, you should have certain things put away in case of emergency. If they're telling you this, and look how the world is today, you need to start stocking up. Start putting things away from now. I'm not on there for any joke. I'm on here because I want to try and help prepare you for possible emergencies. And even if I only reach one or two of you, then that's my job done. I'm trying to form a community here, and I hope you guys join me for next week, where I'll be looking at my top 10 predictions for 2024. So far, 3 or 4 of my predictions have come through, and we're only at the start of the year. We're only in the second month. Yes, Maria. Again, thank you. I'd like to thank all of you who've come into this live stream. And as I'm saying, I hope to see you all next Friday, starting at 9 p.m. UK time. I'm only keeping these streams down to 1 hour for a few weeks, as I'm a little bit bombarded by other things. So please tune in next week Friday UK time, starting at 9. Is there anything that anyone has to share or say? Also, don't forget, I have 2 channels. One is called Eyes Wide Shut. That is my main channel. And I have a side channel which is called Spiritual Echelons. Spiritual Echelons is more about things such as spirituality, yoga, meditation, the breath, natural foods, natural remedies, and a whole heap more. Tai Chi, and all of that kind of thing. It's all about spiritual health and development. So if you're into this, I want you to go to my channel, Spiritual Echelon. Make sure you have a working clock. Yes, Mary. The thing is, because I have to go through OBS and connect that to the YouTube, there's been a lot of problems. So, apologies for being late, and I will try and make sure I kick off on time next week. But listen, is there anything that you guys want to share with the group before I sign off? Anything at all? Is there anything that you'd like me to cover in other streams? Maybe you want to come on as a guest. You may have some burning topic you want to talk about. If you do, please contact me on my channel, Eyes Wide Shut, or you can email me at yahoo.com Eldad Amara. Anyway, if there's nobody, if nobody's got nothing to say, I'm going to wind down and hope to see you next week. And I thank you all. Thank you, Mara. It's really appreciated, man. Thank you, man. And I hope to see you next week, Mario. And thanks for sharing your ideas and that. And the rest of you, also for your contribution. I'm going to sign off now, and I'll see you all next week. And please don't forget to make some donations. It will help in terms of getting better equipment, and it will probably help with these live streams. Anyway, blessings to you all. Hope you have a good weekend, and see you all next week.